is. It's Double D, Don Darius. You're contilling the coach. I'm not the GOAT, but I fit the description. Wait, I said I fit the description. Hey, it's Double D, Don Darius. You're contilling the coach. I'm not the GOAT, but I fit the description. Said I fit the description. Okay, so I have to be honest for a minute, right? So, real life, to some degree, I have had to, like, with this $15 to $5,000 account growth series, right? To some degree, there has been some sort of secrecy because I don't want to reveal too much of my strategy because then, niggas will then, it's just gonna be a whole mess up. So, essentially, I'm just being honest right now. This is now the recording of attempt number 5, I think, on the account. Is it attempt number 5 or attempt number 4? I don't know. I'll show you the series of $15 deposits that I've made ever since the announcing of the $15 to $5,000 account, right? Account growth. So, or $15 to $5,000 withdrawal, rather. Yeah, $15 to $5,000 withdrawal. So, essentially, what I'm doing in this episode, like I've already mentioned, is that I'm being honest and saying that, okay, Friday we fucked up. Friday there was some sort of, there were errors that were implemented and it wasn't the time for our strategy. But now, since we have gotten some sort of leg upon the growing of the account and we've moved it from a certain amount to, like, okay, the initial deposit was $15 and now we are currently sitting on a $60 withdrawal, right? So now we know that we're focusing on essentially scaling and going forward. So now on to the next clip. Walk one. Okay, so this is the first episode, first official episode for the $15 to $5,000 account growth strategy, or the $15 to $5,000 account. Yeah, the nothing to something series. I'm just gonna call it nothing to something. This is like kind of the first official episode. I'm sorry, like I just woke up. Low-key feel like shit, but we're on the charts. So what I want to talk to you on the charts is that this range that we have identified is last week's previous high and last week's previous low, which was here. That low got broken just a couple days ago, and this new low had formed. Where's my arrow? Yeah, so this was last week's low, and then during this week we created that low, and now we have two lows that exceed last week's previous low, right? So what retail trading is going to tell you that there's some sort of like support area that was created here, and price has to pull back to it to then make a third one to continue to the upside. Or retail will tell you that because it's a support area, we can anticipate to see price goes to the upside. But with my fair share of experience, I understand that this is what is to be called an equal lows, right? So equal lows means that there is resting liquidity here. There's money, there's stop losses that's sitting here that has to be taken out in order for our bearish trend to continue, because so far with the bearish trend we have been respecting the previous highs, because that was our initial high, then we made a lower high, then we made a lower high, right? We've made lower lows multiple times, but we've only made like 3 consecutive lower highs, so we know that we're still in a bearish trend, right? So we're waiting for price to quickly break out of this consolidation that it has created or has been in for a couple of hours. Once it breaks out, we'll either know that we were right if it goes to the upside, or we were right if it goes to the downside because we're holding a sell position, right? So we'll know that we were right if it goes down, and we'll know that we were wrong if it continues to go up and execute our stop loss order. Right, so far on the account, this is the situation. This is today, this is yesterday. Yesterday made a profit of like $9. Today we only made a deposit. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see, because this week alone, right? Let's see, this last week. Deposited 75, withdrew 75. So I'm essentially at break even. But at the same time, like, I only realistically deposited like once this week. Realistically, I only like deposited once. Well, my own personal capital I deposited once, but the other like $60 comes from profit that I had accumulated, left in the account and traded with until eventually it all went back to the market. But I'm coming back, don't worry. I'll update you as the setup evolves. Okay, so we're back, right? This is a 15-minute time frame. Now we can quickly notice that, okay, before we were somewhere around this area, close to stop loss, but now we've retraced and pushed back all the way downside, closer to our previous low, right? Almost executing our recent low. And then I don't know if you guys already noticed, but I took another entry when price pulled up to be around these highs, right? Because then this entry was taken as a result of, well, me speculating that price was only going to reach this point and then reverse and then turn back to the downside, right? Because that's what I've noticed price to do a lot of the times. After making a strong impulsive move, price is going to take some time to consolidate and figure out in which direction it's going to be going. And it can go either one of two directions. It can go back up, or it could continue back to the downside. And like I had mentioned, my speculation is that we're going to be going to the downside. So me taking this trade was just me trying to find further confirmation of what I thought was going to happen. And as we can see, well, it's holding. So now we're just waiting to see what is going to follow. Let's see what the account is saying. Oh, steady. Okay. Let's see what happens next. Okay, so we're back on the charts, and right now we are in a consolidation, or we've been in a consolidation. It's just I've taken the time now to outline the swing high and the swing low of the consolidation phase that we're in, right? So what's making me say we're in a consolidated phase is because price hasn't been able to really break this high or break this low. Price has really just been trading sideways for a minute now, right? Late last night into early morning today. So right now we're just waiting to see a break of structure, either to the upside with a retest to continue up, or break of structure to the downside with a retest at this area to then continue to the downside, marking out this as our new area of interest. Because once price breaks this low, we're going to be waiting for it to then quickly pull back. It's gonna go down to the downside and then quickly pull back. Right, once it pulls back, we are going to be looking to enter more sells towards the downside as a result of the testing of significant areas within the market. So right now we're just basically in a consolidation. We're just waiting to see a breakout, either to the upside or to the downside, but I'm more in favor of the downside breakout, because now we're testing this area on the higher time frame. Let me show you. On the high time frame, this is a 1 hour area that I tried to buy at. Ooh, it's looking very bullish, but let's see what happens, right? So on the high time frame, this is what I'm seeing, right? Prices, this was initially our monthly low, which then got broken a couple days ago, and then we tested it yesterday again. So we're anticipating for price to then continue to the downside, breaking yesterday's low and continuing the overall high time frame trend that we have established, or that has been established. Right, more on this later. Okay, so we're back on the charts, and now you guys, I showed you these 3 entries that I had placed early today, and price was going to go to the downside, but well, that's what we hoped for price to do, but then price then ended up pulling up back to the resistance area to then continue to the downside. So we were stopped out essentially. Now we're just waiting to see if price is actually going to break out of this consolidative space, and I'll update you guys. But the account was blown, man. You know what I'm saying? We were risking the whole account on this specific setup, because that's what I do, you know. We either double or go home. $15 is $15, man. Crazy things can happen from just a $15 deposit. So I'm not going to lose sleep over this, because it was just market dynamics that played out. And yeah, we're just going to continue to see what's going to follow. I'll keep you guys updated. Nothing to something, Baba. This is only the beginning. If you ain't worried, that's the devil at work on God. I'm gonna put him in the third. Okay, so we're back again on the charts. So we can see the price. You can see the price move beautifully after reacting to this zone. Seeing as there was this nice rejection, then price continued to close below and eventually reach this area. So now we're waiting to see what happens when price closed below this area, because we're still in the consolidation. We haven't broken out of the black box yet, so still waiting to break out the black box. On VIX 10 though, I want to take a look at VIX 25. Or VIX 25. We're now looking at VIX. God damn! I got stopped out of this move, dog. Like, yo. Yeah, you can see that I took a sell here, and then I closed my trade when it came to reach this level here, but damn, this is massive pippage, dog. Yo, I closed too early. What? I closed too early, bro. Cause I had a stop loss entry. I had a sell entry here at the double top formation. You can see I had a sell entry once price had kind of closed below this area on the lower time frame. But this is not what I expected. Yo, beautiful. So there's still no setup available here, because we just recently broke out of the 1 hour consolidation that had formed. It was actually a higher time frame. It's probably like a 4 hour consolidation, but we just broke out of it, and well, that's the action that happened. Now we are here in this long trend, so waiting to see what's going to follow after this. We can either see price come to reject at this area, or come test and sweep this area to then reject and continue back to the upside, or just reject, or rather break out of the area, then reject after the breakout to then continue to the downside for bears to step in. Alright, this is just a young update. but still to see what is to follow. See, now exactly what we had predicted played out. See how we had taken the entry there, price pulled back and stopped us out there, and we had anticipated for price to go all the way down there, hence why we exited out of the buy entries that we had here earlier on. See, sometimes it's not that you're wrong, it's just that your strategy is not gonna work right now. So now we just wait for price to create more price action and present more opportunities. On the other side with VIX 10, remember I told you in the previous clip that we are going to see price either reject from this area. Let me go to the 1 hour. I love the rejection on the 1 hour. See the rejection on the 1 hour. I did let you guys know that price is either going to come back to retest this area of interest or the previous swing low on the 4 hour time frame, because on the 4 hour we identified this area or this level as our swing low, and then we identified that area as our swing high. This area did get tested once before, and previously price broke out, but then is now retesting the previous swing low area and is respecting retail support. So this is an area of interest that is important. So now we're going to be now looking to enter on the lower time frame as a result of a significant pullback and bullish confirmation for a potential move to the upside. More on this later. Okay, I think I just might be entering the VIX 25 position. Okay, I don't think I know. Okay, so now we entered as a result of price having already tested this area a third time on the high time frame, and we anticipate more bullish volume to step into the market to then allow our trade to go into profit. As you can see, we are currently in drawdown. It doesn't get as any more transparent than this. See, we should stop loss just below that low, because this is a 15-minute bullish engulfing candlestick. So if price ends up coming to pull back below this area, we know that buys are not valid right now, but we're just going to have to wait and see what's going to happen. More on these later. Okay, so I just logged on to MetaTrader 5, and now we seem to be floating a nice position, right? So remember, we took the entries on the 1 hour. We took these initial entries and we put our stop loss just below this 15-minute bearish engulfing, right? So I've been paying attention to price doing a pullback. We saw price do a pullback, and then I speculated that maybe price wasn't going to come touch our stop loss, and I put in a couple of entries to then allow for more profit taking if price is going to be continuing to the upside, and well, our entries seem to be still holding. So now we're just waiting to see what happens as price action develops. Okay, so yesterday we took trades, and then yesterday they got stopped out, those trades that we took. Reason why, I don't know, bro. These were the positions that we took. We took the buys here as a result of price having come and test this area and showed signs of bullish presence within the market. So we thought, hey man, seeing as there's already bullish presence in the market, let's enter this wave all the way to the next breaking of the highs. But price had other plans. It went up and came to reject and close below to then be influenced by this area of interest to pull back down to the downside. Now I've entered another buy position as a result of 1, 2, 3 times testing this area of interest and still being able to close above. Right, we haven't really closed significantly below and made a retest towards the downside, so we're still expecting buys to be valid within this area. And then there's also VIX 25, where remember we had the consolidation, right? We had the whole consolidation, and then after the consolidation there was that breakout. Right after the breakout, now we see prices continuing to create new higher highs and higher lows, right? So now I'm expecting for price to continue to go to the upside as a result of having used this to liquidate certain bears, to liquidate bears and then allow for bulls to now start stepping in. I don't know, the only way to find out is to stick it through, and we'll see what happens. I'll update you. Yeah, man. Okay, so account was blown, $15 gone. Simple setup or simple market dynamic setup at work. Now what we're gonna do is just take time to reanalyze and then hop back in, because anything could have happened at these points, and what happened was we got stopped out. Next time we come in, we could pop up, or we could face the same fate. There's only one way to find out. Thank you for watching this far, and we'll see you on the next challenge. And this is just the reality of things, folks. So we can see that on the 15-minute, or let's rather go to the 4-hour. On the 4-hour time frame for VIX 10, we can see that, bro, price did not at all do what we anticipated for it to do. And now it's back to the drawing board for man, because now I've essentially used up this week's capital and I'm going to look to reinvest once again next week to catch next week's potential moves, because it's Friday already today, and well, we anticipated for price to then push down below this area, close and reject, then continue to the downside, but it ended up doing bullish, or it ended up confirming bullish sentiment in the market, and then we tried to capitalize on it, but then we got stopped out as a result of lack of margin, because we were holding another trade on volatility 10 index, which I'm gonna get into after this breakdown. But essentially this week was a pretty profitable week, if I can say so myself, because at some point we did withdraw after only depositing $15, right? So
Now it's just having to refocus on next week's price action, or anticipate next week's price action, so as to be able to catch potential trends. And then on the breakdown for volatility 10, here we can quickly see that first of all, price came and did it what we anticipated it to do, right from the get-go. Because at first I had anticipated for price to sort of reject here, then push to the downside, but my sentiment or my confidence in the market was in to reverse somewhere along this trend line on the lower time frames, which is the 15-minute. If you can just go to the 15-minute, it makes a lot more sense, right? So 15-minute, you see 15-minute, we were looking at price, and price was essentially looking to then create a bullish triangle, so as to then, when a bullish triangle forms, it has a long bullish move, and then it kind of consolidates and compresses to then ultimately create a higher low, and then break out of equal highs to then continue to the upside. That's what we had noticed when we closed our sell that we had entered here. But if we had still been holding the sell, we could have been in massive blues, but that's not what happens, And then we also wanted to capitalize on the potential reversal of the market, seeing as there were equal highs created at that point when we took these buys here after price rejected here and then made a little pullback to then want to continue to the upside. So right now we can see that price sellers are losing strength within the market, and we can then anticipate to see some sort of bullish reversal towards the upside to take out these equal lows. But that's next week's movement, you understand? That's something we can look forward to next week. So right now, like I mentioned, the account's capital has diminished, and while we're looking to see what happens with next week's funding. Thank you so much for watching up until this far. Okay, so I'm chewing an apple right now. So what you guys essentially watched was like a couple of days of trading. I didn't show the full story because some of the things I didn't get to document, but with this next episode that's coming, I'm gonna document a lot more. I'm gonna start documenting from the deposit, right? From the initial deposit into my brokerage account, and then all the way, including the withdrawals that I made throughout the episode. Because I did withdraw. It's just that I didn't capture those withdrawal moments. But at the end of the day, this was just episode 1. There's still more to come. Expect a lot more, and I'd really appreciate your feedback, whether it's amateur traders that don't know how to trade and want to learn how to trade, or professional traders that are coming across this and finding something that maybe I don't necessarily know about the market, that that can help a kid elevate his trading. I'm open to all the learners and the teachers. Just go ahead and leave a comment. If you want to join this journey and be a part of it, subscribe and tap the notification bell so you're notified every time I drop an episode. We are going to make $15 turn to 5,000. We're going to make $15 turn to $1 million. Yeah, man. Don Darius Double D, your Quintillionaire coach. I'm not the GOAT, but I fit the description. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. It's Double D, Don Darius, your Quintillionaire coach. I'm not the GOAT, but I fit the description. I said I fit the description. Black without murk, got the MXs to match it. Manifesting my reality, they gon' say we practice magic. No little niglet, we had to be pragmatic. Listen, the law of perpetual transmutation states that energy is ever changing and constantly in motion, 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 constantly in motion, motion, motion. Everything I touch turns golden, 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 golden. Energy is ever changing and constantly